Hello and welcome back to the 90s Mag podcast, your Newcastle United podcast, hosted by three lifelong Newcastle fans. Myself, AC, and Jefferson. You guys all right? Good?
What up?
Good evening. Good evening. Yes.
Back in the house.
Back in the house. Been a while. You know, we didn't record a preview for the Everton game, but nevertheless, we're here for the review. Before we start that, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. You know, share with your friends and family and all the people that you know. Get the algorithm up, get the numbers up, and that.
And just to say before you continue,
here we go, guys.
Go on, AC. Go on.
We officially have just passed 100 subscribers here on YouTube as well.
Building.
I just definitely want to say thank you to everyone for the support, all the subscriptions, all the likes, the comments, the watch time. You know, your viewership is really appreciated. And
Indeed.
You know, this channel hasn't been out for long, really, technically speaking. So it's quite a monumental achievement to reach that landmark already. So
Very
shout out to everyone.
Yeah, man. Next up 1,000. So let's get going, peeps. Let's get going.
500 first. 500.
Baby steps.
Baby steps. The next goal is 500. But let's go.
But yeah,
it's nice to start with a positive, isn't it? It's nice.
We're going to continue the positives for now. You know, it's not all doom and gloom. Listen, we come off the back of a draw, a 0-0 draw, an eventful 0-0 draw against Everton at Goodison Park. Potentially our last visit there, unless we draw them in the FA Cup. But yeah, finished 0-0. Mixed emotions. I mean, listen, it's fair to say it's 2 points dropped, isn't it? Considering how the game went, it's 2 points dropped. However, going into the game, I think a lot of people would have taken a point, considering how we generally play at Goodison and what happened last time we were there when we got slapped, absolutely embarrassed. You know, and we were wondering on the back of the Man City game whether this was a corner turned, right? So, AC, do you think this is showing sign of improvement, a corner turned, or are you more concerned than positive?
So, even if I look at the details in terms of like how the game kind of started and our play in the first half, especially, what I did like and what I did see evidence of is that our midfield looked like it was clicking a lot better. You can see a lot more like one-touch passes. The movement was good. You can see triangles forming. You can sense that there was definitely a vast improvement. It looked a bit more alive. We had a bit more of a gusto behind us in terms of like moving forward. And yeah, I think we definitely built on that, you know, that good result against Man City. Though it was a draw, you know, I think everyone agreed that the performance was really great. It was a standout. I think, generally speaking, going to this game at Goodison Park against Everton, generally speaking, you know, we know it's going to be a bear pit. It's a hostile environment. I don't know if Everton trying to create this now rivalry with us. I don't know why this is happening now. Like, this never was like this before. It was just a normal team.
Yeah. Well, they're not on our radar, man.
Obviously, it must be just the Gordon thing, I know, because Antony Gordon obviously used to play for them and such. So you sense that they were just like attacking them and such. But generally speaking, I think that performance-wise, I think we did look better. But obviously, the game is 90 minutes, and there's definitely many acts to this game in terms of like what happened. And we're going to go through those different scenarios, like the penalty calls, then goals disallowed, and us coming to close chances as well. And generally, that obviously we had most possession, right? I think in the end we had like 70% possession. Yeah. Which was like really good to see. And but to be honest though, like at the same time though, let's not fool ourselves here. Everton are not really a particular great side at the moment, and hands down, it's like they're in the bottom 6 of the league, and at times you can kind of see that they lack a bit of confidence and such. And I kind of feel like there were definitely many opportunities where we should have just punished them really for their lack of controlling. And so naturally it's almost like they wanted to give us the ball, like we had the ball for so much of play, but then that falls into that trap as well where they start doing the low block and we're just holding it. But yeah, I don't know, it's a mixed emotions thing. But I think overall though, just to say, wrap up my little piece on the intro here, is that I don't know. I did leave that game feeling like it was a loss. I feel like those 2 points we missed out on. Best believe when it comes towards the end of the season, you're going to wish those 2 points were gathered, no doubt.
Okay, well, I'm going to give my piece before we go to our, what some people say is Eddie Howe's #1 critic, Jefferson. Yeah, I'm going to say my piece. But first of all, I think I saw a stat that Everton have lost 3 of the last 20 meetings before this game, or 21 meetings at Goodison when they play us, right? So usually they get a draw or win. Right, so that shows how difficult it is for us to pick up wins there.
Jesus,
and and I touched on before how we performed last season when they absolutely annihilated us. I thought this was a better performance. Like I said, the midfield, it was good to see the midfield gelling well. I thought Bruno and Joe Linton especially played very well. Tonali, we'll get onto Tonali, but as a whole, as a unit, I thought they were more cohesive than we've seen of late, more disciplined and stuff like that. Defensively, I thought we were quite solid, especially on the centre of defence. I thought the 2 at the centre were very solid, which was good. And like I said, we controlled the game, right? So we had more possession, more shots on target, more shots on goal. I don't think they had a single corner. So
0 corners, man.
Right.
That tells you. But isn't it crazy that it tells you so much? Because it's just like, what do you mean you had 0 corners?
The whole team, a whole team had 0 corners because all they wanted to do was pump it long. They wanted to pump it long to Dominic Calvert-Lewin and have runners off him, right? And we dealt with the physicality well because that's one thing especially away from home, we seem to be a bit of a soft touch. And I thought we stood up to the challenge yesterday. And, it was definitely our best away performance of the season. And in terms of controlling the game, it was our best overall performance of the season so far. The problem is that we look so blunt in the final third. Either poor decision making or lack of clear chances created. And listen, we didn't have a striker on the pitch, right? It was Antony Gordon leading the line. And given the fact of his history with Everton and it's at Goodison, you knew it was going to be a tough evening for him anyway. Which I thought we handled it well, obviously, depending who we'll get on to. But I'm trying to be more glass half full because on the back of a City performance, what we didn't want to see is going back to how we performed at Fulham or at Bournemouth or even at Wolves, right? And I don't get me wrong, Everton is not the greatest team at the moment, but let's not forget they come off the back of their first win of the season, and offensively they've been playing all right this season. So it's just defense where they've been leaking goals and stuff. So there are some positives to take from it, and I believe we can take the positives, and if we've got the foundations right, which is defense and the midfield. The attack is sometimes the easiest thing to fix, especially when you get strikers back. When we get Wilson back, Isak back, we're expected to score a little more goals in it. But yeah, it was disappointing that we didn't come away with a win, considering how we controlled the game and we had all the stats in our favour. But it's not all doom and gloom, because what we didn't want to see is us lose that game or another poor performance, and we didn't get either of those. So in that respect, I have to be a little bit positive. Jefferson, over to you.
Yeah, now that we've dusted the donut, let's get to the nitty gritty. Let's take some bites, because I am thinking no.
Here we go.
So it was definitely a case of -2 as opposed to +1 when we're looking at those points. That's for sure. And what's quite interesting is I remember building up to that Man City game. I talked about it being high pressure, high level football. We may not see much of the ball. And when we have the ball, we got to utilize it properly. Well, this is arguably the opposite situation where you're going to have a lot of the ball. But guess what? You still got to make the right decisions. And time again, we didn't do that. As well as the composure in front of goal. I mean, the one that sticks out to me is that Bruno opportunity. I don't know what he was doing there and how he didn't even get that on target. The Gordon one, when he got played through. Miggy, I'll put that down to sort of game rustiness, but I mean, 2 seasons ago, he would have tucked that in, wouldn't he? But the positives I would say is, yes, we did win those physical battles. The only area I felt we were struggling with was the fullbacks. I felt Lewis Hall lost a few of his duels. He also gave the ball away. But the one that stuck out like a sore thumb for me was Kieran Trippier. And I would have taken him off much earlier because Ndiaye had him on toast. For me, Ndiaye was one of the players of the game, actually. I would have liked to, if we had someone like him actually imposing himself up there, it would have been great. So I actually think he was up there. For me, Joe Linton was the man of the match for me, Joe Linton. But yeah, and Dyer had Trippier on toast, and I was really shocked that we didn't take Trips off earlier. And incidentally, when Tino came on, he actually had a really good impression going further up the pitch. The things for me now is when we look at the lack of quality, when we look at our decision makers. So many times, even commentary said it, no one's taken those risks to actually run at the defense. Let's put this clearly and plainly. They had James Garner, who's a defensive midfielder, at right back. He doesn't play right back. You've got Ashley Young on the other flank, who's what, 40 now? Is he 40? So why aren't we running at him? Why aren't we running at him? Why aren't we testing him? And there was a real lack of imagination every time, running to the wing, cutting it down the byline. Nobody's there. If the striker's coming deep, why are you guys releasing the ball? Hold on to the ball then and wait for support to arrive in the box. We've got a striker on the bench. I just, again, it's getting to the point when I see Eddie's face, I just get so vexed because you know the excuses are coming. There's no striker. We got Asula on the bench. Why am we using Asula? Right? So all you got to do, right, is actually take a leaf out of Sean Dyche's book. You take a look at the watch. 10 minutes to go. The football we were playing, good in parts, but it wasn't unlocking them. So you have to just put it in the mixer. How tall is Asula? 6'4"? Put it in the mixer then. Launch it long and put it in the mixer. If you have to, you could have actually got away with playing 3 at the back, put the 2 fullbacks to protect Burn with their pace, and put Shah up front. Do whatever you can to knock that door down. So once again, in these tight situations, we've got a manager that lacks that imagination. It's just play the 4-3-3, play the same way, we'll unlock them. No, we've seen it time and time again. It happened last season. I can think back to the Brighton game, the Everton game, crucial games that could have got us 6th place. So what I'm starting to see is history repeating itself. We need a more tactically adept manager that can make the right decisions at the right times. What I would say, though, is I do praise him for bringing on Miggy because I thought Miggy did well when he came on.
I agree.
Okay, so just before we get into the nitty-gritty of the game, Jefferson, do you see? All right, first of all, looking at the fixtures that we had, right, when we had Man City and Everton before that game, before that we played, those a ball was kicked. Would you have taken a point from those 2 games?
No, and I'll tell you why. If we go back to the episode where we reviewed our first set of fixtures, we all estimated that in the first 6 games, at least, we would have 12 to 13 points. We've only got 12 points now. Obviously, hindsight's a wonderful thing. We look at Fulham, actually, Fulham are playing really well. So we thought that was a given. Maybe you can either take that defeat gracefully now or be like, all right, a draw would have been a good result. That Everton game, we're looking for a win. The reason we lost last year was Kieran Trippier and the fact that the squad was tired. We had injuries and overutilized, so we couldn't get our strongest team out there. They were really tired. I think, obviously, fully fit, no injuries, we'd smash them. So I'm not having this. I'm not having this. I just think it's...
But then surely, but 2 things that didn't we review it up to the City game and say 12 points? Yeah. So all right, a point less, right? So it's not the be all and end all. Now, but just before that, like when the season started, when we just had City and Everton, yeah, we all thought we were going to lose both of those games. Yeah. So surely it's 2 points gained in that respect. I'm not saying given the game how the game went, but
it depends how you look at it. When we looked at it, we knew that we needed a buffer before the tougher games arrived.
Yeah,
and
Arsenal's, the Liverpool,
again,
Chelsea's.
It's a mixed bag because we scrape results. We've gotten away with results that quite simply we shouldn't have got.
Yeah.
So we should be in a worse position. And when you look at it like that, okay, you have to be thankful, right? But again, when you look at it in terms of the capability of our squad, we've pretty much got a fully fit side. Obviously, until now that Isak's gone, we were only missing Wilson and Botman. For me, there's no excuses, and I just think it's just not good enough. It's not good enough. I would have rather have lost that City game, and won this one. I feel like this whole, because there was a decent performance against City and there was a draw amongst the fan base, the poor start is forgiven. No.
Yes, that it can't be forgiven. What I will say, I know I might be saying I'm not a happy clappering, but what I'm saying is that if you know you're going into City and Everton, so home against the best team in the country and away to a team where we don't usually perform anyway, without a recognised strike, all right, Osula we got in a bit, but without Isak and Wilson, I'm sure a lot of people would have taken 2 points from those games. No? Because we're going into a game with no striker. Yeah, with no striker.
Yeah, but I think if you were to do a poll with all the fans, like before a ball was kicked at Everton, I would say 95% of the fans would expect us to win that game against Everton.
You reckon?
I think so. Yeah, I think so, because you have to win those games if you expect to be in the echelons of finishing in Europe, because you're almost not going to get. I'm not saying it was a complete easy game to win, but it's on the plate to win it. And the fact that we had 70% possession, we had all those shots, etc. We had all of those corners. Remember all those corners we had? And I was at one point,
Jason Tyndall with the corner routine. Remember that? Yeah.
Hold on. But the thing is, it's getting to a point. I was saying to myself, we need to work on our corners, because this is a game you can win the game with a corner.
Yeah, we don't. Because everyone seems to have a set piece coach. I don't know why they're doing it.
We ain't got this. Every time they have a corner, I'm almost not expecting anything from our corners, and I'm just like, this is a game where you just have to nip it in the bud with a corner and just win it with a header. And then it goes back in what Jefferson was saying about Osula. Even I was thinking, put him on for the last 15 minutes, right? You just have someone stuck in that middle. He's a tall guy. You put the ball into that box with him, there's a good chance he could score.
Or it creates chaos. It will create chaos around him. There'll be ricochets. Someone will knock it in. And then also you take off Barnes. Listen, again, he's done it again. He's done it again. His loyalty to players is killing us.
But Barnes was poor, though.
Let Gordon take the penalty. That's killed us. Anybody knows heightened emotions against his old team. He should not be taking the penalty. And then he has an awful game. You keep him on and you take off our best finisher after Isak.
To be fair,
reprehensible.
I don't think Gordon was that bad. Other than the penalty, I thought Gordon played pretty well.
Gordon did play well.
He played well.
Yeah, I thought he did all right. He was energized. The touches, the quick touches, the little flicks and the little spinning the defenders and stuff. I thought and driving at them. I thought he was actually decent. Obviously, he's not a natural striker, right? But Barnes, I will say, Barnes did not have a good game, right? But going back to the
you know why he didn't have a good game? Because when we face teams that have a low block, right? Yeah. And you got extra players fit in, he can't cut in as he usually does.
He can't beat a man. He can't beat a man.
So therefore, he's going to go down the byline and crossing it.
But he's not that kind of.
That's not his play. So,
but what I'm saying is, but going back to what you said about expecting to beat those teams, if we're going to compete for it, I agree. But I think more later on this season. But however, when you got the likes of Villa, who dropped points against Ipswich, who they should be beaten. You've got Liverpool, who lost at home to Forest, should be beaten. You've got, who's the other one? Spurs away to Leicester, should be beaten. So we're not alone in this. Yeah, there are teams where should be beaten, and teams are not. The favourites are not. So in that respect, I can let this one slide. Right? It's just this can't continue. But again,
so wait, D-Man, hold on. Devil's advocate, yeah?
Yeah.
You just said, can we get this marked, AC? He said he's going to let this one slide. I want to hear you after the next 3 fixtures, when they're not going to be positive outcomes, and you've let this one slide. Because 3 points here gives us a buffer to allow us to lose.
No. It does allow us to lose.
Chelsea and Arsenal. Or
but what I'm saying is that, yes, we should be expected to beat those teams, but then should Villa not be expected to beat Ipswich? So Spurs not be expected to beat
League,
no, that's not.
We know how tough that is.
No, it doesn't match. Should they expect to beat them?
They just beat Bayern Munich.
I hear you. I hear you.
Mentally and physically, that's going to take a lot out of the squad.
I get it. That was Man United. They played Man United. after Bayern Munich play Man United.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah?
I'm saying. It's going to
Obviously-
take a lot out.
Were
of
they no,
them.
but were they expected to be Ipswich? Were they expected to be Ipswich? Yes or no?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Were they,
The
Yeah.
odds were favourite. The odds were
Spurs-
favourite.
Wait, okay, so
Wait.
wait, where
Oh,
are Villa at the moment? Where are Villa?
No,
Where are Villa?
Villa are 2 points clear of us. Yeah, 2 points.
2 points clear.
So there's a game
Okay.
in between it.
And they've got the they've got the
but what
extra
I'm saying
game.
is, what I'm saying
Okay.
is, you said we're expected to be Everton. Fair enough. Villa
Yeah.
expected to be Ipswich. Spurs were expected to be Leicester on the first game of the season. Spurs meant to beat Leicester, right? Liverpool were expected to beat Forest at home. Yeah. So these things happen. Yeah. I'm not saying it can't. If there's a pattern, then fair enough. Yeah. But we beat Wolves away. We drew Bournemouth where we lost last season. They're a decent team at home. Yeah. Obviously, Fulham slapped us. But Man City were expected to beat us. Yeah. They didn't. Yeah. These things happen. But what I'm saying is, it can't continue. Because, like I said, come end of last season when we should have beaten Brighton, should have beaten Man United, should have beaten who else that we dropped points to?
Everton, we drew 1-1 at home.
Yeah. We should be beating those teams.
I know what you're saying. You're basically saying that like us drawing with Everton, it almost like balances the books because other teams drop points here and there as well. And I get that. And I get that. But this was on a plate, man.
No, don't go. How the game went, we should have took us
we
to the
should have won that game. Like, I think the other games, like even with the Liverpool and Forest, like Forest deserved to win that game. I think hands down. But if you actually saw that game, Forest deserved to win that game, and I think Liverpool fans will admit it.
Liverpool created enough chance in that game to beat them. Remember, Forest sat back. And had 2 opportunities in that game. You know, Forest sat back hard, but Liverpool just didn't take the chances. I'm not saying they were great on that game, but they had enough chances to win.
This is my point. They weren't great on that game. So who deserves to win it? If you're not great on that game, you're not great on your day. Who deserves to win it?
No. I'm not saying it is, but they should be beating Nottingham Forest at home. They should be beating Nottingham Forest at home.
But again, we're in Liverpool right now. They've managed to get it done in other games, despite having Europe. We have no Europe, so we have no excuses. We got minimal injuries right now too.
No. We've got more injuries than Liverpool. Jefferson, who have Liverpool played this season, please?
All right, let's have a look. Yeah,
I'll tell you who they played. Yeah,
let's have a look. Yeah,
Palace. Yeah, Palace. Forest. Yeah. Ipswich,
Man United,
crap, yeah.
Brentford,
yeah, dodgy, yeah. Bottom half, yeah, gone.
Yeah, and then they've had Champions League to
No.
Milan,
yeah, okay, yeah. Milan, not great, but but gone. So carry on.
They've had games in it. Listen,
who's the other?
Yeah, Wolves gave us a game as well.
Wolves have not won a game all season. Yeah,
but they gave us a game.
Wolves,
they tucked us in. We got lucky. We got life.
We beat them.
Without
Wolves are technically the worst team in the league at the moment.
Right.
And look how they made us look.
No,
yeah?
did we beat them?
I think.
No, we beat them. Forget just. We beat them, bro.
Wait. I do want to say something here. There's something we actually miss into this conversation. Because before the Everton game happened, right, on Saturday, we had a game early in the week against Wimbledon.
No, we're
that Wimbledon game was lackluster.
Listen, let's be real. We ain't scored a goal in the open play in 3 games. Yeah, we haven't scored and we've had a penalty in each of the 3 games.
Nah, bailed us out with a penalty, man. Yeah, so I'm just like,
I'm not saying we're good, you know. I'm not saying we're good. Let's make this clear. I'm not saying that we're good. All I'm saying is it was a better performance that we did, yeah. And it's not all doom and gloom because yes, we dropped points, but other teams have dropped those points as well, yeah, including Spurs. Spurs are below us, yeah. So Man United are below us.
Spurs lost 2-0 lead today. Wow.
It could be.
I have to admit. We kind of touch upon this a little bit. Is that like there's a series of teams that are all in this like in this box at the moment. We're in that box. It's us. I would say Villa, Tottenham as well. You know, I'll probably put Man United in that as well. Man United a different box completely at the moment because they're sitting on 8 points, but Chelsea as well, where it's a bit like, like even Chelsea, they dropped points there, didn't they? They drew against Forest.
West Ham haven't clicked yet. West Ham haven't clicked. They will second half of the season.
Are you sure, bro?
They will. And the other thing is, remember, so what you're looking at potentially is short-term vision. Long-term vision, all the teams that you mentioned that have dropped points, they've got the squad to deal with the length of games. We don't currently.
No,
So
we don't.
it's a tortoise and a hare situation.
But at the same time,
At some point, they will, the
remember,
gaps will start opening.
we haven't
They
got, like
will.
you said, we haven't got European football, so we should have the squad to deal with it. I'm not saying we have, but we should have the squad.
I don't
We should.
know.
Look at that Wimbledon game.
not.
Look at that Wimbledon game. Why is he start? We said it. Why is he starting first teamers? It is small margins like that. You're running out of gas in those last 10, 15 minutes. Because sometimes, when we talked about decision making, decision making comes from tiredness sometimes, poor decision making, because your body's elsewhere, your mind's elsewhere.
Well,
maybe these players fresh.
Yeah, but maybe it's international break. We should. Some of our players will get a rest, in it. Not a rest, but you know what I mean. Like, there's not gonna be strenuous because, like, it's Bruno. Who's going away? Bruno, Pope.
Charles
retired. Trippier's retired. Willet's not going. Isak's injured. Wilson's injured. You know what I mean? It's Tonali, Bruno, and
you know what? This Wilson injury. This Wilson injury is starting to really vex me more, because
another one for the manager.
I'm really getting angry about it because I was thinking about it. I was just like, oh my gosh. We all knew that when we started this season, we were like, we've actually gone to this season with just Wilson and Isak. Because I hate to say it, but having two players out, this is not going to be the first time it's going to happen this season.
Oh, no, 100%.
It's going to happen again. It's going to happen again. And we're going to have no striker again.
Yeah.
And I just feel like it's our fault here. And I just feel like, oh man, we said it in the summer so loudly, and I felt like we were just shouting in an echo of hallways because no one was listening, and I feel like no one still listens. But I feel like I'm seeing fans on social media are starting to wake up a little bit of like, yeah, we should have got rid of Wilson at the end of last season. We shouldn't have kept him on. We should have just invested in a new striker, but we didn't, and now we find ourselves in a situation because people are saying Wilson's going to come back. I'm like, listen. He's going to come back for like 4 weeks and be injured again.
No, do you know what's going to happen? He's going to come back after the additional break, last till Christmas, and the board will be like, okay, we've got Wilson, we don't need to strengthen in January, whatever. Then he's going to break down end of January, and we're going to be screwed again.
What they did last time.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden you're putting all on Isak.
Because of Eddie.
No, but this time, let's see how much weight Mitchell can throw around now and say, look, listen.
We need bodies, man.
But again, he's got Asula and he's not using him. He's not.
And that's another thing. We spent 15 million on this kid. It's just like
10 at the moment. 10. I don't think he's going to rise to 15.
5 add-ons.
He ain't making
5 add-ons.
So
the 5 add-ons is never going to be appearances at the moment. Yeah. My man's not praying for shit. So,
but can we talk about this Everton game? Can we do this?
I want this guy gone, mate. He needs to go. And by the way, before we come back to the game, AC, you touched on social media. These flipping idiots again, mate. They're doing my absolute nutting. Yeah, they're getting so brave, and I'm telling you for real. Yeah, keyboard warriors. They do not want it. They do not want this smoke. Shut up. Yeah, shut up. Yeah, telling AC to go back to wherever. Shut up.
Listen.
Yeah. Dickheads.
They know what's at play here. And to be honest, my tweet was a social media experiment. It was like, let's see who bites first. And best believe people were biting that line, yeah. So it was easy catching, right? The net was full, right? But you know what I did? I caught them in the net, but I threw them back in the sea because that's where they need to be right now. That's where they need to be.
Let's see, innit? I want to see these people when we roll up, because we will be rolling up at some point this season. Let's see if they get brave then, because they will be getting thumped. But please believe. Let's see how brave they get. I'm fed up with it. What? Because we've got a different opinion. Are they for real? Bruv, we've supported this club for 30 years.
Do you know what your beef is?
We've supported this club longer than some of them have been alive.
No Diddy.
Are they actually for real? Come on now. They're not serious. They're not serious, bruv. They're not serious. They don't want this. Anyway,
Goodison Park. 5:30 p.m. Saturday.
Now that Tupac settled down now.
Let's go back to Everton's. Let's start with Everton's disallowed goal. Let's go.
Well, yeah. Listen, again, we start. That's why. Anyway,
okay.
Do you know
so no, we started off again, and like you said, the disallowed goal. Listen, he was offside. even when I saw it live, I thought, is Trippier keeping him on? But then when I saw the replay, I thought, nah, well offside. I think Trippier and Cher kept a good line. Good cross, by the way, and these are finished. But yeah, I thought that would galvanise us and wake us up now. Yeah.
Yeah. How were you feeling in that moment? Because I can tell you how I was feeling.
I just thought, you know what, the next goal is coming. It's coming. They're gonna learn from the mistake and they're gonna do us again. But was it before that we had the one cleared off the line, innit? Bruno, when he licked it from the flicker from Canard.
And Dyer clearing that off the line.
Yeah, he didn't know how he cleared it, but I think he said the picture. I don't know what happened.
That was some luck, though, man. That was some luck because it looked like the ball was just honed in to hit his foot. I don't know.
Yeah, but yeah, listen, they had the disallowed goal. I thought they'd probably push on from that. That gives us the impetus to push on, but we recovered well, controlled the game again, controlled the rest of the half, but then comes the incident with the penalty. Yeah. Obviously, Stonewall penalty, right? He's like he dashed him out of a club, bro. He had
get over here.
I'm glad I got pulled up, man. I'm glad I got pulled up. That would have been robbery if it wasn't given.
Yeah, I was surprised it took so long to get a decision. But what got me was that the time it took from that to Gordon taking his penalty, it's allowed the Everton players the fans to get whatever. And listen,
and also, just to say, at a particular moment, usually we're very good at this kind of moment of like shithousery. So we will basically someone has to take the ball and calls it like, oh, is he taking it or is he not? But the fact Gordon picked it up from the minute one, and I was thinking, you're holding the ball for so long, and the fans are just like, there were some clips you can see in the background. The Everton fans were like,
I think some Everton fan tweeted. He said he ran down from the wherever he was in the stand right to the front to give him what for before he took the penalty. The thing is, like, obviously there's a lot of talk on social media about should Gordon have taken the penalty. I know Jefferson, you said it as well. I think, I was thinking Cher should take the penalty. However, Gordon, when Isak's not always not there, Gordon is our designated penalty taker, right? So in that respect, yes, he should take the penalty. But given the occasion and the fact that you're against Pickford, who kind of knows about your penalty taking anyway, I thought it would have been more of a smarter decision to let Cher take the penalty. But I get it, given all the stick that it was given. Had he scored that would have been little fingers up to this crowd or whatever.
Pickford was so smug. I
can't stand him.
I hate the guy. I can't stand the guy.
I cannot stand him. Giving it all the.
And then there's what's his name? I've forgotten his name. What's his player?
Decore.
Who had a rubbish game thanks to how well our midfield played, by the way.
Yeah, but it was a poor penalty. It was a very poor penalty, to be fair. I mean, Pickford had died.
Was it a poor penalty or was it a good save? Yeah. Actually,
he just literally. He didn't even get to the corner. He saved it with his knees.
Pickford died.
He saved it with his knees.
You know what I mean? It's just,
Pickford's got short arms as well. So
it reminded me a lot of the World Cup penalty with Harry Kane and Hugo Lloris. Just get somebody else to take it. Don't get me wrong. He smashed it in for the first one, but the second one had heightened emotions. And once you got heightened emotions, unless you're someone with ice cool veins, you're missing. And that's where you know what? Actually, I'm blaming Eddie. Maybe it's not Eddie. It's the captains on the pitch. Bruno, Trippier. Trippier should know. He should say, look, boss man, I know you want this ball, but we're going to have to give it to someone else. Just take the ball from him. It's not school. It's not school.
What I will say, though,
Wembley.
You know them ones in the park.
You're playing Wembley.
He didn't let it He didn't let it phase him, though, because he continued to play how he was playing for the rest of the game.
I respect that. I respect that. I mean? He actually started playing even better. It's a psychological thing, isn't it? But we all know Fabian Cher would have tapped that in, man. He would have tapped it in. Like his penalty against Wimbledon was just like
even
easy like Sunday morning, man.
Yeah, there's plenty of options, but listen,
Bruno can take penalties too. Bruno can take penalties.
But listen, he's missed it. We move on. Second half comes now, and there just wasn't enough there. It's not until the substitutions were made, and credit to the subs that came on: Willock, even Longstaff, Tino, and Miggy, whether Miggy, Longstaff, Willock, and Tino, I think came on, whatever. They made a difference. They all played pretty well. Obviously, Miggy has put that through ball through to Gordon, who's put it over wide. I think it was whatever. Willock showed a bit of industry down the left wing, linking up with Joe Linton, which was good to see and stuff. And Longstaff, I thought, considering Tonali was off the ball, especially the second half, I thought Longstaff brought a bit more to the game when he came on. And we slate Longstaff all the time, especially I do, but I have to give him credit. He didn't do too badly when he came on.
He was more direct, wasn't he?
Man, slay the dragon.
Do you know what I've just realised? Why didn't we just play Joe Linton up front as an emergency?
I still don't trust him.
I would, yeah, but it's better than having no one.
Yeah, no,
we could have had Willock on that side of midfield, and or started Longstaff and then had Joe Linton through the middle.
Since he stopped playing striker, I think you put him back in that position, he'll get PTSD, man.
Yeah, man.
It was a real rough time up front, man. It was really tough. But I go back to it though. We should have just put on Osula at 75 minutes. Let him play the last 15, run it out. No pressure, man. It's not pressure.
And that must be so downheartening for him as well.
Yeah, because it's like, for goodness sake, we haven't got a proper strike on the pitch, and you still won't play the brother. And then I get it. How likes to embed people in slowly, but I'm getting to a point where it's just like, sometimes you got to like just
throw them in at the deep end.
You just got to swim because you never know. Because who knows? We might be looking at game now and being like, Osula got a goal, and it's just and it was
that could be the start of his little run. He could get a bit confident.
And it's a confidence thing, and then because let's face it, Isak and Wilson, if they do come back off an international break, this guy is never going to see the daylight of that Premier League games at all.
He's gone. Especially now we've got Chelsea in the cup. He's not going to see. He ain't going to see another minute, bro. Especially from the start.
So I do wonder.
Two keepers on that bench. Where was Sanusi? This is what I'm saying.
He played in the under 18s on the same day when they beat Villa.
What's going on though? Why isn't he just called up? Well, where's Harrison? We're gonna give these guys a go. But one thing I'd say again, coming back to the manager, and I've said this, I don't know if it was the early episodes or in the summer, but one example I can think of is, again, when we had that injury crisis, because I think Sammy Amiobi was playing wide left or wide right. We didn't even have a striker, and Pardew had the balls to call up Perez, and the rest was history. We didn't look back. That guy was meant to be sitting in under 21s. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he took that risk. So
early, didn't he? Yeah.
What has Eddie Howe got some balls? He's very repetitive on that routine. You've got to take that risk. Even if he said, all right, I'm calling Ben Parkinson, right? Put someone there in it.
Yeah.
Because Gordon is not it. It's not working. It's not working. You need a recognized striker in that role, because there was so many times there was breakdown because Gordon comes searching for the ball.
Yeah.
Or they're all coming searching for it. No one's stretching in behind. The other thing is, I noticed, yes, there was a couple of times there were some nice triangles, but it reminded me a lot of watching England play, where we're pegging them back, or we win the ball back in transition. And you're thinking, go on, go forward. Let's go. Which Longstaff and Tino did really well when they came on. They were just boom, one pass straight to the wing. Let's go. Willock as well, yeah? It was going back to Byrne. It was going back to Shaw.
Yeah,
it was going back to Pope. It was going to Trippier. Then it was going to Hall. And I'm thinking, what are you guys doing? Let's get up the pitch. It was kind of like a boxing match. When they've done a little combo, they got them on the ropes. And you're like, come on, finish them. Let's go.
Yeah, we had them on the ropes, and we didn't finish the job. But let's talk about the best player for us on the night, because I think Bruno and Joe Linton, I thought they were the standout players for us. I know you mentioned Joe Linton probably man of the match, but I thought Bruno would possibly had a shout for man of the match.
Bruno was good, man.
I thought on the back of his good performance against Man City, I think he carried it on into this game, and if he continues to play like that, we will be a lot better off. I thought he was very disciplined. Obviously, he had the opportunity which got cleared off the line as well. And I thought it was more of a captain's performance than we've seen from him of late. So I commend him. And Joe Linton, it looked like the Joe Linton that we expect, the destroyer, breaking up play and getting forward as well. What I did like about it is that
he didn't get booked either.
That's it. He didn't get booked. You know what I mean? So that means that he can get booked against Chelsea, maybe miss the cup game, and then back the next game, right? Because the next booking is coming. It's coming. But We need him for those league games specifically. So it's physicality as well. But I thought he was very clever in how he did it, just breaking up the play and acting as that destroyer. I think.
So you would rather see him miss the cup game
than the league game, yeah.
Than the league game.
Because I think Willock at home, I think Willock could do a job against Chelsea at home. And Chelsea's midfield isn't that physical. So I think we can miss him for that one game. But the league game, West Street Waving Pump, we need him for that. But I think Tonali, I thought had a decent first half. Dominic, he got the flick on for Bruno's chance. He won the penalty. He was passing it around a little bit. But the second half, he tailed off. And we need to see. We're yet to see the best of him. But as a midfield three, I thought it worked pretty well, and that's what we want to see moving forward, because that is our strongest midfield on paper. The more they play together, the more familiar they'll be with each other. Obviously, Bruno and Joelinton, they know what each other's about, but it's about allowing that run of games for them three in the midfield to come.
I can't wait till it really starts gelling, because you're going to see it like you can see all three of them going to have each other's back. There were some moments there with Tonali where he does, like I said before, he has the vision just to pick out a pass, and he can just do that. Same with Bruno. Bruno was doing that quite a lot yesterday, actually. He was really picking out all those passes. It was like the Bruno that we know. And, when Bruno does that like regularly, you forget that it's just part of his game. And then when he's not playing, you really do miss him on the pitch, because there's not that player to pick up those passes. But I don't know what was with Tonali. I'm thinking maybe it is fatigue here, because it was like, I think he's still going to speed with the high pace of the games and such. But, we were obviously shouting down Howe's neck, saying you have to start him. Howe is now doing it. And I think if we continue to start those three, it's only going to get better. And because what I don't want Howe to do now would be like, oh, Tonali, you tailed off in that game in the second half, so next Premier League game, I'm going to put you on bench. Because Howe does that.
I don't think he will this time, because given his comments, he said that he thought that we played well and we controlled the game and stuff like that. He said, obviously, you lacked the cutting edge, but that will come. So I think he was happy with how the midfield went. And since they've come in, undefeated, played Man City, controlled the game against Everton, I don't see any reason for him to really change, other than the fact that if Tonali plays 90 minutes on an international break, you might think, then we've got, you might be able to rest him against Brighton. I'm not sure. So
it'd be interesting to see how Tonali. I'm going to try my best to even watch the footage of him in the Italy team, because once again, himself in Italy team is like completely different to our team. It's very different pace, and it'd be interesting, because I do wonder sometimes is that as much as that we do have a Newcastle system at the moment that we kind of like stuck with, like we know about the formation, we know it's Eddie Howe's system. Sometimes you got to tweak things to get the best out of your players, and I do wonder if the way we compare at the moment is not getting Tonali to be at his best. But who knows? That it all can take time though. At the same time, because you want your players to be versatile at the same time. Exactly. But we'll see.
Jefferson, any thoughts on Joelinton or any other players you want to mention?
The biggest thing for me, I think, is a huge positive, was Bruno was disciplined in terms of he stayed in that six. He did not go rampaging forward. And this is what we've been waiting for. I was screaming out for it. Someone just bloody stick, and he did it.
Honestly, I think Howe listens to our podcast, because
he must do.
A lot of things we pick up on, it's like a couple of weeks later, he does that change. We're like, this guy's watching, he might be our 100th subscriber. Who knows?
Sneaky 90s Mags fan. But him sticking gave Tonali and Joelinton the freedom to get forward. And to be fair, one of the biggest things I always have a go at is that we get played through too easily. And it might be because Everton are crap, and also because we have more of the ball, but they only played through us twice. And that was when we were chasing the game towards the end, and the game got stretched. But when we had our structure, they were going long through, and we were winning the duels one-on-one, and they were fouling us. And what I liked was actually Bruno wasn't going to ground too easy as well. Normally he takes the foul. He was running past 1 and 2 players and then releasing the ball. And I was like, yes, thank you. So long may that continue. Fingers crossed.
Well, you know what? I think that's a good place to leave it, because we ended on a positive from Jefferson. So it's I don't think we need to record any more pods, you know what I mean?
Oh, I've got to embrace this villain role, haven't I?
Yeah, but listen, we've got the
Batman.
international break in it, so it's a time
Dark
to
Knight.
recuperate. Yeah, but time to recuperate and restock and that, and see where we go from there. Hopefully, we don't get any key injuries from the international break, and hopefully, we've got Isak and Wilson back after that. So yeah, but yeah, I think we can leave it there. On a positive, but don't forget we've got the audio on the Apple Podcast and Spotify as well. But yeah, thanks for watching. Leave your comments. Let us know what you think about what we discussed and that. But yeah, until next time, the 90s Max, we're out. Peace.
Peace.
Until next time.